Hey guys, what's up? I had to stay away from the house today because the barking dogs and my between the barking dogs and my grandbaby sleeping today, I did not want to be around all that, so I just parked my car here by a vineyard. I was gonna open the back doors, but the lighting got really dark in here, so I'm just going to do this with the doors closed. But I am so excited because guys, we're going to be 5,000 subscribers pretty soon, and I want you guys to go out there, tell your friends, tell your families to subscribe to my channel, because I am giving away a wonderful big huge Echeveria imbricata. You guys, it's so pretty, and the way it is right now in the fall, it's so plump, it's so sturdy and really robust. So guys, you need to subscribe because that giveaway is going to be a good one. Also, today I wanted to talk about planters. I often find that planters are really hard to come by. Here in California, for some reason, they don't sell planters all year long. When I go to Home Depot, they even run out of the terracotta pots. So I decided just to save money these days, and I also don't really want to accumulate too much stuff anymore because I'm trying to minimize my life. I've been selling my stuff, and you know, because ever since I got this van, I felt like it makes me so happy every time I'm in it. I'm such a homebody. If anybody knows me, knows that I am a homebody, and just having my home with me everywhere I go. I mean, I have everything in here. I wouldn't starve. I wouldn't get thirsty. I have a big jug of water right there. Minimalizing my life, and don't want to accumulate anymore. But I did accumulate a whole bunch of these plastic containers from the cookies. I know somebody already said maybe you should stay away from a lot of sugar because my fingers are fat. Anyway, I don't care. Like, I really don't care what people say about me. As long as I'm a good person, and as long as I'm being true to myself, and as long as I'm not hurting anyone, you know, with words or actions or anything like that, I am okay with that. So, you know, if you tell me how ugly I am, I don't really care. You know, I couldn't care less. Anyway, to get back to what I'm talking about. So I got these square boxes, and they're not very deep. So, which means that I'm also going to save on soil, because obviously succulents are not really that deep rooting, so which is perfect, because not only do I have the width of it and I can put lots of plants. Also thinking about selling, and if you guys have something that you see on my video, any of my videos, as long as they are progressive and I have a lot of babies and I can get a lot of cuttings out of it, which is really actually my whole garden is thriving right now. Let me know, because I am willing to sell you these things, and I'm not I always try to be competitive with other sellers, and I make sure that my prices are not that high, because I know that, you know, shipping and everything is going to cost money. So let me know. I am willing to sell you what I have, and you know, just to make others happy too, because it makes succulents makes me so happy. Anywho, so yeah, so that's that stuff. And then I'm going to show you what I did with the DIY planters, because I have so many, and I kept I'm such a hoarder. I kept all these things because I knew one day I was going to use it, and now I'm using it. This is the one day, the someday that I'm saying to myself, I'm going to use this someday, you know. So today is someday. So I'm going to show you how I did it. There is one caveat, is that I painted on these planters just to make them look a little bit more attractive, not just the yellow type. But if you're not an artist, and it's okay, because it's like a blank canvas, you can actually practice. And I please guys, if you're gonna do this project, please send me pictures of what you did, because I am really, I really would like to see other people do it themselves. And so I did paint. I really ran out of a lot of creativity when it comes to this, because right now when I'm trying to do something for my succulents, I'm really not thinking about art, you know what I mean? So when I painted these, I just painted what I could. That's something that's easy and, you know, just fortifying for myself, for my heart. But I will show you what I did. And if you guys want to do this, it's really easy. You can decoupage, you can collage, you could there's a whole myriad of things that you can do, and all you need really is like primer or gesso. Gesso is like a primer for canvas. Gesso or primer, what you have at home. If you have like leftover paint, just paint on it. Circles, you know, different color circles, different color you know, stripes. That's what I did with some of them. I did plaid kind of thing, like a checkered kind of thing. Really, it doesn't have to be so, you know, too much like extra. So yeah, as long as it doesn't, you don't leave it like the same color as the original. But even if you did, no one's going to, you know, punish you for it. Like, but do use those types of containers that you get, even if it's tin. Just make sure that you prepare it, you prep it for the planters. And it's great because I don't have to spend money. I have the paints already. You know, it only took me like maybe a couple hours to finish it. It's really not a big deal. But I will show you, because I want you guys to, you know, get creative with planters. You don't have to go spend $3 on something that you already have at home. So, and that's it, guys. DIY planters, you guys. So this plastic tubs or plastic containers come from well, my favorite cookies, Filipino store. They're, you know, those little long things that you put in ice cream, but there's like a few of them in there, and then they put it in these big old square containers, and then I end up with so much. Well, what am I gonna do with these things? I need to recycle them. And then I also find that when I'm in the garden, I'm like, when I get my babies are growing and you know, I'm running out of planters, these are very handy to have. It's ugly yellow, so I decided, being an artist, I'm going to paint it. I'm going to make some kind of design so it looks kind of presentable. The thing that I did was I cleaned them and then I sanded it. This is 100 grit sandpaper, and I just sanded it so that my white spray primer would latch onto it, to give it, this sanding gives it a little bit of tooth, so that, let's see if you can see it. So it has some tooth so that the paint would grab onto it and not wash away. But even though after I painted, decorated, painted, I'm going to seal it also, so that, you know, it doesn't get damaged by the sun, and or by if I wash it later on. And then for sure I'm going to put several holes, and I'm going to make the holes a good size, maybe the size of that round thing right there. So I would say about 1/4 inch. Yeah, and to do that, I'm either going to use my awl, which is an ice pick, pretty much an ice pick, or I'm going to use my my wood carving tool, or my wood burning tool, and then just make the hole bigger. I have a wood burning tool that I use specifically to melt plastic, any kind of plastic. I have 2 of them. I use one to wood burn, and then the other one, you know, I don't really care about. I'm going to also spray about, I would say about 1 inch from the top in, so that when I put the soil in, it would be up to that line so that it doesn't look ugly. Okay, so this is the one that I decided to do to demonstrate to you guys. This so cute. So I put at least 2 coats of matte finish. You know, the one that has UV protection, because I know it's going to be outside. And it is this Krylon matte finish. I'll have everything in the description if you want to order it from Amazon. There. Okay, so here I have my engraving tool, and the reason why I like using my engraving tool is because I can control the amount or the size of the hole that I'm going to put on this this planter, this now planter. I'm gonna put a pretty big hole in the middle and maybe a couple on the sides, because I know for a fact that plastic containers will hold a lot more moisture when you water the plants. And my suggestion is that if you have a plastic container that you definitely, or a glass container that you definitely don't want to put a hole in it, or you can't, or for whatever reason, I would fill it with water, not all the way to the top, but maybe like I don't know, 1/8 or maybe 1/3. But this is just my method. I'm not saying that this is an end all be all, but for me, this is just like an estimate on how much water can go in there. Because if this is going to be indoors and it's going to be in a set position in your house, you don't want, unless you have something that's going to catch the water underneath, you don't want to put a hole in it. Then I would just measure whatever, how much water, maybe, I don't know, like maybe 1/8 of the whole thing, or 1/2, not 1/2, but 1/4. Fill it up and then measure it in cups so that you know how much to put in there, so it's not like holding way too much water. Because you know that if you put maybe 1/2 cup in there, all the soil will soak that up and nothing is going to sit in the bottom of it. You get me? So maybe one day I'll demonstrate it, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory that you don't really want to try to like estimate or guess how much water it's going to hold, or you just keep putting water in there. This is, I think, the best way is to do that. You know, maybe a cup of water, just measure a cup of water and see, you know, if it's pooling too much, if it's going up to here, you know you're putting way too much water in it. That's just my method, and I think that that's the way I do it, which makes it easier for me, you know. And then I'll just have like a measuring cup specifically just for this purpose, and then just bring it with me, you know, and while I water. And then a good indication also to make a note of it is to maybe write it somewhere, like on the pot itself, maybe say 1/2 cup, or somewhere where you can't really see it, like underneath here, you know, just so you remember how much water you want to designate for that particular planter. So now that my engraver is, my wood carver is hot, I'm going to poke some holes. Make sure you wear your protective gear for this. But I am burning a big hole in here. And this plastic right here is very, very thin. So it's not gonna take a long time to burn a big hole. See? But for me, my preference is to just have holes in my planters so that, and see how this part is raised, so most of the water is going to go on the groove, you know, the lowest point of the planter. So if you want, you can also put holes in there in the lowest point past it, you know. But for sure, what I'm going to do with this one is have, just wipe this off, is have a little screen to put in the middle so that the soil is not escaping from it. So that way my soil will not escape. And even if it's just sitting on top of that melted plastic, that's fine, because once I put my soil in it, it's going to hold. I just held it down there, and so then I will continue to fill it up. Okay, I got the feels. So here's the Butterfield, Harry Butterfield. It's a sedum. Look at the baby. It had a baby. This was just one plant before. I don't know how am I gonna get it out of there. I'll try this. For this purpose, I am not actually worrying about the filler, the thriller, and the spiller for this, because it's really not an arrangement. It is just pretty much a holder for my plants so that they can spread their wings a little bit and propagate in this particular container. And then when they get a little bit bigger, hopefully they would cascade on their own and get bigger on their own until the time where I can still get some cuttings out of it and then repot it or sell them. So this is not an arrangement type thing. It does, however, it is important for me, however, to just show how pretty it is, and that it wasn't just slapped on, and really given a little bit time to decorate the pot, the planter, and everything. So it just, you know, it would look okay. It wouldn't look so stark yellow in the middle of my garden. So that's the only reason why I did what I did for this planters. And they're just mostly utilitarian rather than decorative. Okay, so here are 2 of 4 planters, and they're actually just going to be here for the meantime. It's just for them to grow roots and all that stuff. So it's not really a planter that's going to be a forever planter. This is just where I want them to propagate or grow roots so I can sell them. So, but it doesn't have to be, you know, their containers doesn't have to be ugly. So that's why I thought about this. But look how pretty. Oh, how pretty. I'm going to show, this one is still empty. And I coated it with 3 coats of polyurethane, but in the matte texture. See that? And all this is, guys, is the leftover paint that ended up in my non-stick silicone mat. And what I do is I put a matte medium on top of it so that it just holds together, and so that what happens is I can peel it off and then stick it to whatever surface, and then I'm not wasting any paint whatsoever. And so look, so any way you turn it, you're gonna have a really nice design. This one is just one design. Guess I didn't feel like it, but this guy right here, got the sun, you got some dots and dots and blob. So yeah, so that's cute too. So this Apuntia Monacantha Monstrous Variegated, selling the cuttings for $5, and these are how big they are. It's like 2.5 inches, 3 inches, but it's a fast growing cacti, so you can't go wrong with it. But yeah, just let me know if you would like to purchase any of these plants. Just email me at jcsgirl525@yahoo.com so that I could, you know, give you the price on it, and also how much it would cost to ship. And the standard is like 2-day delivery, because if you do anything more than that, it's gonna cost almost the same anyway. So yeah, this is the sedum. Anyway, it's a sedum that I'll also let you know how much. This is the Golden Glow, I believe, and yes. Okay, and here they all are in their glory. Look at this, so cute. That was the first one because I was so inspired by it. Yay! So actually it's just holding plants right now. It's just a plant holder. It's not a planter, because this is just to hold the plants until I can sell them. I have this Afterglow right here. It's recovering. I might just put that in my garden. Then I have the Echeveria glauca right there. The Sediveria Harry Butterfield, and I might add some more to this one. But yeah, it's just a holder. I mean, I love it because it's square. It has a big opening. You know, not like this one, you can only fit one, but here you can fit a whole bunch. So don't throw away your plastic containers that are pretty sturdy. These are pretty sturdy. So, you know, I'm not talking about like the containers that they give you for to-go boxes and stuff. Although, if those are sturdy enough, you can use them. But I would just use like actually I saved them because I knew I was gonna use them somehow, somewhere, some way. And again, here we go. And these guys are actually they feel like there's resistance there, so I put it in there like a week ago, maybe. But yeah, just enough to get them rooted up. And I got these pagodas that are going to be cuttings for sale as well. Believe you can, and you're halfway there.
No!